Mariachi Podcast may contain episodes with adult themes and language. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. Hola a todos. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mariachi Podcast. I am your host, Javier Rodriguez. Tonight, we have a very special guest, a very nice, very close friend of mine, and we used to play together. We used to make hell everywhere. Now, I have a good friend of mine. Her name is Liz Dominguez, que le queremos desear un fuerte aplauso. Hi, Liz.
Hello.
Thank you for being on my podcast, Ms. Liz. So how's everything going? How's the mariachi life treating you?
Well, everything's going really well.
Everything's good? Yeah,
everything's good. We're off for the summer.
Nice.
Yeah, so just 2 more weeks of summer left before we get back into teaching. But, just been gigging, visiting family and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Qué bien. So, we played, what year was that, Liz, that we played together con Mi Tierra? Was that 2022?
I think it was 2019. It was
2019? Really?
Yeah.
That's where we first started playing together?
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny was there, right?
Yeah.
Your husband?
Yes.
And we had some crazy times there, right? Con el Greñas. Mis respetos y saludos. Señor Maestro Greñas, aquí vamos a estar esperándote. Aquí tienes tu lugar también. So yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I wanted to bring you to the podcast was to more than anything catch up. And of course, you're an instructor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Grand Prairie, correct?
Yes.
And also, of course, to talk about female in a most dominant, male-dominant, atmosphere, entertainment, mariachi. Every time you see a mariachi, you think it's going to be nothing but guys. Mm-hmm. But, throughout the years, of course, you have Reinas, Mariachi Reina de Los Ángeles. You have Mariachi Femenil Nuevo Tecal. I mean, you have a bunch across the world. And so I just wanted to, ya había preguntado a varias personas. I had asked several female mariachis here, but I guess they get nervous. They don't know me. And of course, I said, Liz is probably going to say we've worked together. But again, thank you for por venir aquí, Liz. I really do appreciate it for taking the invitation. But again, so let's start your beginnings, Liz. So how's it that you started in mariachi? Was it that you went to school? You picked it up at school naturally? How was that?
Well, I actually started playing in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know we had a mariachi, but maybe like sophomore year, one of my friends was asking me to join the mariachi. He had joined. He was playing vihuela, and I already played guitar. I was kind of like self-taught. I did a lot of like classic rock and stuff like that.
Wow. And did you said this was middle school?
No, high school.
High school. So you started like me in high school. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and he kept trying to convince me, and I was like, man,
What school was this?
This was in El Dorado High School in El Paso.
In El
Texas.
Paso. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and at first I was like, I'm not wearing that outfit, sir. Like,
Really?
yeah. And then they actually put me in band by accident.
Wow.
And the mariachi director walked in. I was trying to get a schedule change, and there was also a guitar teacher, and he was like, hey, she plays guitar. And he was like, hey, we need guitar players.
Órale.
And I was like, sure, man, just get me out of this class.
And you got it. And from there, did you have any other instructors or you picked it up by yourself? Was the music part like reading music or did that come naturally? How does that go?
I actually didn't know how to read music very well in the beginning, but for armonía, it's very repetitive. It's rhythms. So I was able to kind of pick it up okay.
Yeah.
And I grew up listening to mariachi, so it was easy for me to kind of, get into the music for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, I did struggle a little bit with the reading. I didn't really get good at it until I had to go to college, and I was like, okay, I need to sit down and figure this out, right? And,
okay. No, okay. So, and then, this was high school, right? And
yes.
What was your instrument? What was your main instrument in high school?
Guitar?
Guitar.
Yeah.
From there, did you pick up, because right now you're playing guitarrón.
Yeah.
Is that the only, so your tu especialidad es armonía.
Uh-huh.
Do you play violin? Do you know violin? Do you know trumpet?
I know a little bit of violin and trumpet.
Okay. As an instructor, is that necessary?
I would say it is. It definitely helps.
Yeah. Is it like knowing to teach or to play or both?
I think both, but I like to, I guess, model with the students. So I've definitely picked up a little bit of the violin and the trumpet along the way, taken lessons and stuff, just to at least get to like a decent middle school level,
Okay.
right, where I can model what sound I want for them at the beginning.
Cool, man. No,
Yeah.
that's good stuff. And then from there, what happened? You graduated, and then
So I graduated. I really liked mariachi, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool. I think I want to teach this." But I was still just strictly playing guitar, classical guitar. I played
Okay.
a little bit around with the vihuela, but I wasn't really getting it, like how to get a good sound out of it. So I went to college on guitar, and I started gigging. And when I started gigging, I started noticing that there was a shortage of guitarron players, and people were asking me, "Do you play guitarron?" And I was
oh,
like,
okay,
"No."
okay,
Eventually, at
Yeah.
the college I was at, the guitarron player graduated, and we didn't have one. So I was like, "Okay, like I'll try it out." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's where I kind of started learning, and then from there, the people I gigged with were like, "Oh, you do play guitarron?" And I was like, "I'm just picking it up. I'm barely learning."
Yeah.
So then they started sending me to gigs on guitarron, and I just kind of learned along the way. But
Wow.
yeah, it was really rough at first.
That's cool. So,
yeah.
and how long have you been doing this now? The teaching.
Man, the teaching. I'm going into my 10th year, so I just finished
10th
my
year.
9th year.
Okay. Well, was it hard? Is it hard, or is it something you really enjoy? Do you have ups and downs? What is it like being a teacher
Being a teacher.
now? Of course.
Oh, it's crazy right now. I think there's a lot of people leaving the profession. I would say that I actually just really enjoy the musical aspect of it, right? And that's what's kept me around. But there's a lot of maybe people leaving because of administrative issues or just feeling overworked.
Okay.
But I definitely think I really enjoy it.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's
Just-
rewarding.
There, as I was gonna say, it's rewarding. That's cool.
Yeah.
And what I like about, of course, school district, y'all get y'all's vacations. Y'all get your little kickback.
Yeah.
You know, or I can have a time to relax. And of course, more than anything, get your mindset back again, like a reset button,
Yeah.
and then go back. Cool. What's been your most memorable moment teaching?
Teaching. You know what? I've had so many.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just what I really like, I guess, in general, is having breakthroughs. Like when you're, with one of those kids that's having a hard time when they finally get it.
Yeah. How
That's
do you
really
know
nice.
that a kid, that student, has the potential? And I mean, we have to be straight out, right? I mean, we're going to be transparent here. There's kids that have it, and there's some kids that don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know where, like, a kid's going to be like, you know what? I can do this. And then was like struggling. This is like, have you got into a point where it says, this is not going to be for you, kid?
I think sometimes,
Yeah.
but I think everybody,
Develops different?
yeah,
maybe?
they blossom at different times. And I've had kids surprise me that I'm like, you don't look too interested in
Yeah.
this. And they wind up, staying all 3 years and being
Wow.
in the advanced group. And I've had kids where the opposite happens, right? Where you're like, oh, you have so much potential. And then
Right.
they kind of fizzle out. So you get a little bit of everything. And I think, it's now that it's my 9th year, I've learned a lot, how to be patient, how to kind of wait and see what the kiddo wants. And some of them, like I said, it takes them a long time. But then by the end, when they get it, it's really rewarding, and
Wow.
they feel really good about it. Like I've had kids where like, man, it's like 6th grade, end of the year, and
Yeah.
they still don't understand how to read music. And I'm like,
Wow.
let me try one more time, like to explain
And then
it
it
a
finally,
different way.
boom,
Yeah.
bing, that little, how we have that
Yeah.
little light bulb hits. Okay, I got this.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and that's super cool to see, like,
Yeah.
them finally get it right.
That's
when they
cool.
work hard for it.
So my other thing is that, I mean, I've gone to be a judge in those, and it's not UIL, but it's those other ones where they have, I guess, those regionals where their kids trying to try out for the mariachi, right? And I mean, you do have some talent, and of course, we're just there to, see how they execute and then grade them off of that. Do you guys do the UIL thing? It's more different, right? It's like a statewide competition, and that reflects on your school. So my thing is it a tradition, or is it the way you guys or the instructors teach them that it's got to be like synchronized? Because I'm like, normally you see Vargas, Mebote Calitlan, they just come in and it's a natural, like they know, and they don't have to be together, like, synchronized, but they all raised and they're themselves, they go back. But in high school or college, they walk in like soldiers, and then they put everybody, I'm like, okay, and then they're both go up at this. I'm like, okay, that's neat to catch your eye, but it's too synchronized. Be yourself. The reason I say this because I recently talked to a student, y me dice, I loved it, man. It's just hard that you have to be like a soldier there. You know, I mean, I love the music. I love you know, how we get down and it sounds all good. But the walking all at the same time, you know, and then racing, it's like an army and synchronized. So is that something that you guys have to have in UIL, or how does that work? Or
Well, they actually have rubrics for UIL, and it's a fairly new thing, so it's been developing.
rubrics?
Yeah, they have rubrics, but I think the UIL thing is coming out of they're trying to make it like marching band, right? So if you look at the marching band rubric, it's very similar to the.
Right.
They just changed a few words here and there, but the rubric's the same for what the expectations for UIL are. And so since everybody's kind of trying to fall under that category,
Right.
they really want to make it legitimate, right? They're all going under this criteria.
Do they get points for that, or I mean, is that something? Is that part of what the what is it? The not plan, but is it part of the set? Is that, do you have to do that, or
It doesn't necessarily have to be like how you're saying, like super synchronized.
Right.
They're just it's very general. It's like stage presence.
because
right?
for me, if I was a judge, it's more about, okay, how are they gonna, okay, tenemos el pasajero, you know that this is it. So I'm not looking at how they're coming in or how, you know, their hats, or it's like, how is that armonía gonna execute exactly with the violins? They can not be all at the same, como te diría, all lined up like soldiers, but they're feeling the music, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's I think for me, if I was a judge, that's my grade, my whole thing. Being yourself, you know, being a unique mariachi. Like, hey, they came in relaxed instead of like all stiff and then boom, and then, you know, I don't know. I find that funny, but I guess if that's part of the show. But then again, so yeah, man, I mean, that sounds cool. I mean, I just really thought that mariachi would be more of a traditional, you know, come in, hey, you know, we're mariachi so-and-so, and then we start from there, you know. And I've seen, because I go into YouTube and I see the videos where they play awesome, and they play some very hard songs, man. And this is high school. So I'm like, these kids, I mean, if they had repertorio, they can compete with the guys out here that have been doing it 30, 40 years.
Oh, for
you
sure.
know?
Yeah.
But I mean, for what they have down, they get down. Those kids, my respects to, of course, all the instructors and how you have them, you know, ready. So thank you for that. So yeah, man, that's good to know. So going back to your teachings and what is it like? What is your schedule like? Is it hectic? Do y'all stay like normally? I remember in high school that we would stay sometimes 6, 7, 8 o'clock till we get that music. Y'all still do that?
You know what? At the high school, sometimes if we have a performance coming up, I would keep them late this last year. When I was at the middle school, I would try to maybe like respect their time a little more. And, you know, it's not as cutthroat in the middle school, right?
Right.
It's not as, we're not doing UIL yet. We're just kind of preparing them. So I wouldn't keep them as late. We would sometimes have a couple rehearsals once or twice a week, but I try to get everything done in the classroom so that they can have their time to go home and relax.
When you say performance, y'all perform for private events?
Oh, no, I don't do that with my programs. I know other programs do, but also just I don't want to get into the weekend, right?
Okay.
That's a lot more. I mean, people do it as a fundraiser or that kind of thing. But to me, I think, you know, we have to just, if it's a class, we're keeping it in the classroom. We don't want the kids out there, random quinceañeras, you know, on Saturday night. Right? Like,
okay. Y'all
the way
have
I
a
see it,
curfew, I would imagine, right? And then, if it's for a school, I guess it's not like when I was in school that we would have performances. We'd be out 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But of course, we would be out with our mariachi instructor. But of course, laws and rules were different back then, right?
For sure,
No más cuida mi hijo, we get an ass whooping or whatever if you got out of line. Here, I mean, you'd probably make the news. Kids get in trouble and like, what the hell are they doing out in the, 2 o'clock in the, and then they'll probably shut. I mean, it's times are different, but I get it. So again, if y'all do, I mean, y'all have to go through the whole ropes of going in and paperwork. Well, if y'all do private events, but normally is practices for going for competitions. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, that's good, Liz. Y luego, so your professional life, now that's cool. Being a woman ya en a male dominant, donde hay pues puro señor, not la mayoría de mariachis. How did you come about? Like, I'm going to join a mariachi. What was your entrance into the professional world?
Well, I started gigging in San Antonio.
Okay.
One of my friends from the college group started taking me along to random gigs. And back then it was mixed, it was
Yeah.
males and females in the groups. Eventually I joined an all-female group, Mariachi Las Coronelas in San Antonio.
Órale.
So that's where I stayed pretty much until I left.
Yeah.
And that was really nice. When I came up here, there's not as many all-female groups. I know we have Rosas Divinas.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
so
still play with them sometimes? Or?
I helped them out a couple of times, but I haven't really played with them recently.
Oh, okay.
But I know they're still pretty active. And then from there, I just started getting like sent to random places since I played guitarron.
Right.
And just going with random groups. I went to Little Rock, like,
Nice.
hey, we're going to go 5 hours away and play for the weekend. You want to go? And I was in college, so I was like, okay,
Cool.
I need to make money. Like,
Yes.
So I just started doing that. And I've just been playing with different groups. Like I said, I know that they're just more
Right.
mixed, right? There's not as many all-female groups. You'll have a lot of mixed groups
Cool.
up here in the DFW area. So.
So that was in San Antonio, and you played how many years there?
I think maybe like 2. Moved up here. I finished over there when I was 21, and then I moved straight up here. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then what group did you join here?
I was just playing with different groups. I played.
Maromeando.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said she knows how to play guitarron
Yeah. I played with.
and guitar, right? Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
What groups are there? I mean, if you don't mind saying, which groups did you play with here?
when I first moved up here, I think I helped out Edward Mariachi Los Gavilanes
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
for a little
Those
bit,
Gavilanes, yeah.
and then I helped out.
I should have brought those pictures. Chingam. I got pictures.
Oh no.
Yes, I should have. Juanito, where'd you get that? No, that's cool. Yeah, I remember seeing you there. But by that time, I think I was already with Jalisciense or, Michoacan.
Yeah.
But so then Gavilanes, you played a few years and
Yeah.
you got to New Edward and Los Gavilanes. And then from there?
I went with Roger. Roger was starting out a group. They used to play at Papacitos.
Yeah, I remember that. He's the guy that took, we were, Michoacan used to play that. And then he came on
took your word,
and
man.
took my word. No, it's cool. I mean, it is what it is. It's an open market, whatever. But yeah, and then from there?
From there, I was with Roger for a little bit, and then I think from there that's when I started freelancing,
Yeah.
and I was on and off like random groups, pretty much until I joined with Greñas.
Yeah, with Greñas, Mi Tierra.
With Mi
Mariachi de Mi
Tierra,
Tierra.
yeah.
And any bad reputation, any bad encounters, anything in any male dominant group, did you ever feel like outcast, like these fucking guys don't want to give me a chance, or, they're looking down at me or some shit? Did you ever feel that way?
You know what? Honestly,
Be
I think-
honest. Yeah,
I
but
think
this is transparent.
People think that people think that a lot, but I honestly have felt like fairly respected, like
Yeah?
by most guys. I think it's only been a couple, and it wasn't even like really that bad, like where they just don't give me a chance, right? I know for one, this guy recommended me for a gig,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was gonna go and everything, and then I got a message from him by accident, right?
Yes.
But it was for the other guy, and he was like trying to convince him, like, no, ya sé que es una morra, pero toca bien, and all this stuff. So I guess the guy didn't want
Yes.
to take me because I'm a girl, and then he was like, oh, my bad, that wasn't for you. I guess
Right.
they don't need you anymore. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
all right. I was a little sad, but I was like, no, it's cool. I mean, he doesn't know me. Like, I get it.
Right.
And I mean, I've played with other groups since then, but I was a little bummed out. But that's probably the worst thing that's happened. Or I went with another group where the guy was telling me, like, I don't normally take girls, and I was like, okay, like,
Really?
do you want me to leave or
Yeah,
what? Like,
yeah.
I'm here right now, so if you need help, you know.
Right.
But no, I mean, aside from that, it's been okay. I think.
That's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, having a girl, more than anything, you're gonna get gigs. I mean, because some people they think she can sing, right? Or at
Yeah.
least the presence of a woman in an all-male group is like, or 2 or 3, 4, whatever. You have like, dang, because the voices or the coros are gonna sound awesome, and then they sing some songs that are duet with girls, and they sound awesome. So
Yeah.
I mean, el que no sabe, no sabe. I mean, I think those guys wouldn't know, like, even if you don't sing the way you play, because I've known you for some years, you play awesome. So I mean, maybe they didn't know you that well, but like you said, I mean, when you started playing or whatever, the whole thing or thought of you said, oh shit, she knows how to play.
Yeah.
So from there, I guess everybody started. I mean, I've called you, right? I remember you when I started off with Colima, you helped me out as well. So it's like.
Yeah.
The first thing that, oye, que cante la muchacha. I was like, well, she's, nomás sabe el instrumento. Oh, okay. But even with it, you're not here, and they ask, hey, I remember you had a girl like, we're, I'm like, she's not, so you leave a presence. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what some, I guess, some all male mariachis or male female mariachis, they tend to forget that when you have a female group, even if it's not singing, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
You know, this, I mean, do you feel different about that?
Like that.
Yeah, that you know, that maybe, yeah, we need more women in mariachis.
Oh, for sure. I think that, the female presence definitely helps. And I think it's good that a lot of girls are putting themselves out there. I know that there's a lot of girls here in the DFW playing with predominantly male groups, on violin and stuff or different instruments. So I think it's becoming more open. And I think, like I said, I think in the DFW area, they don't have it so split where it's like you're either in a girl group or you're in a guy group. Like it's where you can walk into a group of all guys and it's more normal now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? In a competition in Houston, it was an all-female group. It was one guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we're like, what? That's weird. But then we found out, no, he's our arranger. Oh. He's the one that I'm like, oh, well, no, when we know it. And of course, they were wearing like purplish, girlish, but he fit in. Like, he fit. I'm like, dang, some people would, of course, start talking shit and, start, that dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But we're like, no, I like, dude, you're laughing, but that dude, listen. So, and we're like, dude, respect, man. So again, it goes both ways. You can have it up, but dang, dude, we need this guy that, he's either going to play the trumpet or whatever. We don't have a female,
Yeah.
So they had, and you could tell, you're playing, you're performing, you sit backstage and you open that door. And they're like, that guy is first trumpet.
Yeah.
And that guy, so they have him because he's lead. And then he's the arranger del grupo. I mean, so it goes both ways. You have an all. That was the first time I seen an all female. I think it was Las Mariposas. I think it was that year. And I'm like, damn. And we were like, man, that's badass. And of course, other groups like, hey, why is he over there? Not fair. If it's all female, I said, dude, just go with this. Is about having fun, showcasing what you have. But anyway, yeah, that was to me something that was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, Liz, and so what's in the plans? What's in the future? You're Mario Miar. You keep doing your thing, and teaching, or what's going on?
I think I'm mostly sticking to the teaching right now, and the good thing is like I finally the group I'm with right now has been a little more flexible, and that's what's been hard about staying with a group is that I teach, right? So sometimes we do have stuff on the weekends that I can't make it to gigs, and being the guitarrón player, it's really hard to find a replacement.
Wow.
So right now it looks like we're okay. We have 3 armonías. Our vihuela player Ivan covers me if I'm out.
Okay. What's the name of the group?
Corona.
Corona.
Yes.
Okay. Oh Jesus Christ. ¿Cómo se llama? Hold on, don't tell me, man. Jesus Christ. We used to play together con el Greñas, right?
Yeah.
The vihuela player. Jesus Christ. I remember we used to call them mini fingers. Was it mini? No, was it not mini fingers? No, espérate. What's his name? Jesus, man. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I tagged him mini fingers because he chopped off his fucking finger working at a sawmill or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, saludos, maestro. I mean, aquí un día aquí te vamos a invitar. Okay, Corona. So what's his name? The guy, Luis, el camello, he's still with you guys? Yeah. Órale.
Yeah.
I invited him, but he's scared or whatever. But dice que va a venir, pinche camello, va a estar aquí un día. But yeah, so y'all have y'all set. Y'all are traveling, moving around, and it's been pretty good. Awesome. And so I have some questions that I sent you. You ready?
Yeah.
So here we go. So who's your favorite mariachi group and why?
You know what? I like a lot of different groups, but most recently I've really liked Mariachi Corona. The
real mariachi.
The real Mariachi
I'm just
Corona.
kidding. Juanito's gonna kill. No, Mariachi Corona from Guadalajara, Jalisco. Yeah. Why?
I really like their arrangements and I like their style. The recent recordings that they've come out with
they're pretty good. I've heard them. Yeah. They're unique, to say the least.
Yeah.
Because they have a normal, we have our traditional ones that we hear, and then they play like, whoa, they added that extra sauce on that taco. It sounds pretty badass. So that's good. So you got Mariachi Corona as your favorite mariachi group. And so what's your favorite artist and favorite music that you listen to?
Oh, same thing. I'm all over the place with that. I think right now, probably Café Tacuba is one of my favorite
Nice.
bands.
I like that. Yeah.
I like a lot of rock, classic rock.
Yes.
But I listen to a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's on your playlist? What do you have? Spotify or
Spotify.
What's on your playlist?
Oh man, I have a lot of different things.
You're everywhere.
I have different playlists for different days.
Nice, man. That's cool. So it's everywhere. And then let me see what you got. Your best live mariachi performance memory.
Like that I played?
Anywhere. Like now or back then that you're like, I'll never see this again, or like this is a once in a lifetime.
Oh, that I watched.
No. That you
played?
were part
I
of.
was in?
Yeah.
Okay. I got to do when I was playing with Coronelas back in San Antonio. We got to do this performance for South by Southwest in Austin, and we did a lot of hybrid stuff.
You mean the Austin that festival?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all played at what is it? The what is that called again?
South by Southwest? But
Yes.
they have a bunch of different performances at different venues.
Wow, man. Y'all made it there.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
It was like it was a smaller venue, but it was really cool.
But now it's a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing, it's pretty,
Yeah.
that's awesome, man. And that's one of your memorable.
Yeah, that was really cool. Just
Do
preparing.
you still remember all your members, the team members that were there?
You know what? No.
You know?
I don't remember everybody's names,
Yeah.
but I have it in a picture. But
Dang, see, I should have asked you for pictures, but we'll next time. Man.
put it on the comments.
There you go. Put it on the comments. Is teaching mariachi stressful, fun, or both? We went over it, but how do you really feel about teaching mariachi?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I think, like I said, it is fun. I've taught in high school now this last year, and I gotta say, like, I think middle school is really fun, especially with beginners, just because like you're basically playing games all day, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're kind of tricking them into doing what they need to do, and it's a lot of fun, I think. But it is definitely stressful, especially when it's concert time or competition.
Yeah.
You got to wrangle 100 kids into all this stuff. It's hard to organize.
How do you handle stress? I mean, do you like just go home and say, forget this? Do you like just pop on Netflix and like, I'm not doing, or how do you handle stress?
Right here. No,
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, you want a shot?
I'll take one.
Okay.
I'll take.
So that's how you handle stress. Now, nice to know. So, and then let me see here. What else do we have? We have, if you had an opportunity to join a world-renowned group, mariachi, right? Who would it be and why?
And why? I think I was talking about this with my husband the other day, and I was like, if I could join any group, I think I'd be like in Camperos or something. But, if I'm a girl, that wouldn't work out.
Yeah.
But also, Reina de Los Angeles would be another option.
Really?
Yeah.
That's and why? Why Reinas? Why can't it be what is the other one over there? Estas mariachis femenil Nuevo Tecalitlán.
Oh, well, then I'd have to move to Mexico. And, like
I knew you were gonna hit me with that. But that's
I mean,
good.
I've thought about that too. I think, and I know there's a feminil Corona and stuff like that, but I don't know about maybe shifting my whole life over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think that if you were to you'd have to change your whole perspective on living here and living over there. I've often wondered. I need to ask some of the guys that live here in California. I think some of the guys that are in Vargas. I forget his name, but he is a U.S. citizen, and he normally, because the tradition was you have to be from Mexico to play in Mariachi Vargas.
Yeah.
You have to be 100% Mexican, blah, blah, blah. But he lives in L.A. or somewhere, and he plays over there, So it's like, I guess he has to have scheduling down tight, right? I mean, he has to have it correct. So, yeah, I guess if you were to get invited there, you'd have to change a lot of stuff. But I guess that would be fun, though.
I'd be cool with moving to Mexico, but I'm married now, so I'm like...
Yeah, it's going to... your husband's like, move, you going where?
Like, are you coming
Juanita,
with me?
but like, hold up, man. It ain't going to work. No, está bien. That's awesome. Let me see. What's the next one we have? What advice would you give students who are adamant about joining mariachi class or mariachi group?
That was the hard one, too. I was thinking about it when you sent me the questions, but then I was like, well, what do I always tell my kids, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you have to practice, right? You have to kind of understand that there's a process, and you really have to be patient. That's the hardest thing that the kids, they want immediate results, right? So if they're not getting what they want out of the instrument, they're like, I want to quit. And I'm like, no, like you'll be okay, but you got to do this for like, 3 years, and then you'll be able to sound the way you want to sound. Or that.
So you always give them the proper advice, and hopefully that they'll join or either pick up the instrument.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's fine. Now, if we shift a little bit on our current events here in Dallas, do you feel there's too many groups or not enough groups?
Oh,
Let's
this
be
is a trick
fair.
question.
Let's be fair.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit too many groups.
Right.
Yeah, stop making groups, guys.
For real, man. Bueno, I mean, igual, there's for everybody, pero I remember when we started off, I mean, I'm one of the late boomers, I guess you could say, but now it's like they leave a group. They're going to start their own group.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And it's, I guess, I might be shooting myself in the foot here, but there is enough for everybody. But I think the key is to losing or when you don't have enough gigs is because there's too many mariachis and there's that one mariachi that's going to charge you way less than what you charge. And, hey, I found someone cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole, for me, that I think that's the whole difference when it comes down to keeping gigs agenda. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that, there are definitely groups that are charging less, right, that are taking work from other groups. Yeah, and then I think just different pricing for different sizes of groups.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I've heard of 6-7 piece group charging $400, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. But I soy uno de los que creo that you get what you pay for. I'm one of the firm believers. They're like, okay, they're charging you $450. But how do they sound? What? I mean, the thing they're going that way because they made what they call a bola.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, they called 3-4 guys. There were 2 guys already that said, let's find out who we got because I have 2 gigs. They all show with different moños, different suits. I've seen it. It's like, dude, okay, that's fine. So I guess my advice to the to el cliente is that if you're gonna get a mariachi, I mean, do your research, right? I mean, it's not like. Si quieres ruido, if you want noise, then fine. By all means, get you the cheapest one. But if you want your event to sound good, to sound awesome, do some research, right? How do they sound, first of all? How many are they? Do they have the same suit? I mean, make those, you can, and it's all fair game to ask those questions. How do you feel about that, Liz?
No, I agree. And I think, the issue with people making so many groups is that they're maybe unrehearsed or then they're struggling for people, right? Then there's a shortage of people that are always posting, I need a guitarrón player.
Right.
And stuff
Those
like that.
are the ones. Well, I mean, it could be también the season, right? So it's summertime, so people take vacations, and it's understandable. Pero for me, it's like if you're going to go that route, you're going to charge less or whatever. It's like... what are you doing? I mean, you're going to charge less. You're taking, not the work, but I mean, you're not ready. I guess that's the best way to say it. Siento como que you're just making this because you've lost the whole thing about playing for arte and music. They just want one thing. What's that? Money.
Yeah.
It's sad thing that they're just going because we got to make money. And it's, for me, yo la verdad, of course, it's good to make money. But then again, you have to put in your work, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That if you cut corners by creando bolas, is or making small groups. I guess I'm sorry for the people that know what bola is and mariachi is. A person that is not in a group or is in a group and then goes off and gets 3 or 4 guys and then says, "I have a number that you can call and I'll take a mariachi." And it's just a deformity, I guess you can say, of a group. That's a bola. And it's not an organized group. Me and Liz, and of course, there's plenty of groups that are organized groups. So again, al cliente, do your research. Do your research and do they have a Facebook account? Do they have a website more than anything? I think that's more of a legitimacy thing. If they have a Facebook and a website, right? Because then the legitimacy falls in. Like, they're for real. You're not going to get a bola that's just call this number. I mean, because I've seen it on Facebook. Serenatas are $250. I'm like, okay, $250, you got a mariachi and there's 5-6 guys. Dude, that's not even sometimes what they're going to give you just for your gas tank to go play.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know. I feel like it's not fair. How do you feel?
On that, I've gone with some of those sketchy groups. Like when I first started, because I would just...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I went to one and I was like...
She said sketchy. Go ahead.
Well, I went to... No, I'm not going to say names.
No,
but
no.
I went to this one gig and then I was supposed to go with him the next weekend, right? Like, or the following day.
Uh-huh.
We followed him to his house, and he took like half an hour coming out to pay us. And it was really shady. And I was like, oh, man.
What
dude,
the
like,
hell?
I'm never going to random gigs
No,
again.
yeah, see? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And then I told
so
him.
that's one of your experience, right? So if you can elaborate more, how were y'all together, right? I mean, how was the Armonía sounding? How was it? I mean, how does it compare to a group that you're playing with now? Let's be honest.
No, it was not even
No
close
comparison?
No, I mean, it was like people that were not even maybe super experienced musicians. It was like a banda trumpet player. Like, we didn't know any repertoire. Like, we couldn't get through a whole lot of songs. It was a restaurant gig, like around Cinco de Mayo, so it was okay. But I was like, nope, I'm not coming back for Saturday. And the guy got really mad. I had to block him.
Really?
And he was like, the way I can mad.
Oh,
And I was
are
like,
you know what? I want you to say the fuck this guy. What's his name?
nah, man, I'm not saying names.
Okay. Sorry. Well, I got to bleep that out.
Snitches
Anyway.
get stitches.
Okay. So, yeah, you see what I'm saying? So, again, to me, that's pretty crappy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's all right. Okay. Well, I'll load it up later, man. No worries. So yeah, sketchy ass groups, and your experience has been horrible. They don't sound nothing like the group you play with. I want to know, did you ever see the clientes? How are they reacting? Were they like, yeah? Were they?
You know what? We were at that gig specifically. It was a restaurant, and it was like lunchtime Cinco de Mayo. So like, no one's even listening to it.
That's
like,
even worse. I mean, Cinco de Mayo, you get the potential of getting clients.
yeah, but it was like a restaurant in downtown Dallas, so it wasn't like typical clients.
Do you think still downtown Dallas? I would have been like, hey, mad as hell if I'm the owner. I'm like, this is what you brought me, dude.
Yeah, well, we were outside. There wasn't a lot of people, but I was like, nah. Dude.
This ain't gonna work.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. Wow, Liz. Okay. So yeah, man. Again, El Cliente, if you're listening, well, they say they can't hear, but we'll make it work. This is recording locally, so I mean, then I'll put it up on YouTube. But yeah. So again, we go back to those memorable moments of sketchy groups, and so what's next? I mean, you're with Corona, and you're doing your teaching. Any advice you would give, again, the clientes or students that are wanting to join your group? Right, I think you told me you're going into a new district next year?
Yes, I'm moving to Fort Worth ISD. So.
And do you know, can we say the name of the school?
JP Elder Middle School.
JP Elder Middle School?
Yes.
Okay. You have a new teacher coming next year, so yeah, better sign up with Miss Dr. Liz Dominguez. Yeah, Dr. Liz, right? Yeah.
No,
just
a master's for now. Had to go back to
that's
school.
cool. It's cool, Liz. No, pues again, well, I mean, thank you for coming to my podcast. I mean, it's short and sweet. I really do appreciate you and giving us more than anything your input, your emphasis on the instructor. Being a mariachi instructor and also playing professionally. Thank you, Liz. I really do appreciate the time. And pues estaremos viéndonos primero Dios in the gigs. Normally we haven't seen each other. I mean, y'all. I mean, are y'all pretty booked? Are y'all pretty booked?
It's
slow, right?
I
mean, be honest.
Yeah, it's a little slow right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I think is that for everybody?
You know what? That's what I've heard.
Yeah, because I mean, we're like, what the hell? It's not ringing. The phone's not ringing.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, está bien, Liz. Well, thank you, Liz. Ahí está el shot. Nos lo echamos before we take off. You're going to like this one. It's pretty good. Salud.
Oh, that's good. That's sweet.
Nice. Ooh. That was good. Thank you, Liz. Gracias, gente bonita. Dios me los bendiga. Mariachi Podcast, Javier Rodríguez. There we go.
So you can hear anything? What?
No. I have it recorded locally. Yeah, locally.
So
then what I normally do, just then pop it up on.
You had it live on YouTube?
Yeah, but it's always glitchy, man. Siempre pasa algo.
Yeah.
No worries. But that was sweet, man. I like that.
Thanks.
I
appreciate it.
That was pretty cool.
Is that the same gig that afterwards you called me and was like,
These fucking fucking guys.
And she called me and she's like, I don't think I'm going back. Or is that a different
No,
group?
that was a different one,
That was
too.
a different group?
No, dude, okay, so I meet this guy at Walmart, right?
I was like,
And he's wearing a traje, and this is like back when I was still like, you know, getting started, like I was trying to get my name out there, so I was like, oh, it's Mariachi, you say Mariachi, I got his number, and he's like, oh, he can help me out at this gig. I go to the gig, and it was like 3 of us, and puro desmadre, Javi, it was so bad. And so we were supposed
by
to
desmadre, you mean by plane? Or?
Yeah, like it was really bad. Like it was just like basically me and him, and then this girl, but the girls didn't play nothing, and it just sounded bad, like bad.
like bad.
Yeah,
and
and
she
then
called me and she's like,